Like I said at the top, we are not going to go too in depth today. There will be 3 more. So I guess expect increasingly more granular looks at this game in various ways. We'll give you all the typical ways we break down football games to bet. We'll give you the evolving prop value as we get closer and learn more availabilities. We will obviously update you if there are any serious updates or movements to lines and or edges along the way. But for now, let's just talk about where this line is set, our early impressions, and what the model shows immediately at the top.
Yeah, so like you said, Greg, we'll get more into this. I would expect, our final show before the Super Bowl to probably be the traditional Thursday show with the bets and picks and everything we really like. But yeah, we'll have some fun with the next 2 shows. We'll look at some really different angles, try to find some fun stuff. There's going to be sportsbook promos out there pretty much daily, at least in the final week leading up to the Super Bowl. So we'll have plenty to look at as far as angles. And yeah, so let's just start with a general overview of this game, which is Seahawks -4.5. If you know what, let's just pull up the projections now. Why wait? And if you go into our model's early predictions in the best bets, you'll find Pats +4.5 has a 60.3% probability, a significant 9.1% edge there. So again, some really high value, almost at even money on the spread as well. Total is at 45.5, with the model giving it a 53.2% probability to the over. Just about fair odds there. No particular edge in any direction. And Patriots money line at 38.0% on the dot gets you a 4.4% edge, just shy of +200. That is fair odds of about +160. So I thought it was interesting doing some research. This is actually the least likely Super Bowl matchup of all time based on preseason odds. +6,000 for Seattle and +8,000 for New England, which kind of feels like a summary of the season, right? Where we said there didn't seem to be that one single team. Anybody could win it. And it kind of looked like that. Ended up being pretty top heavy as we got through the playoffs. But, it was there. The writing on the wall from before the season was that it was truly anybody's to take. And here we are with the longest odds Super Bowl we've ever seen. If you didn't catch any Patriots Super Bowl value last week when they were around +260, which we said if you think they're going to make the run, that's the time to get them. But they're not too far off here, just about +200. They are notable underdogs, but you're not losing a ton of value there if you missed out on them before the conference championships, mostly because that was cooked in that they were likely going to get there over the Broncos. So it doesn't, that was pretty much their odds to win against whoever the NFC representative was. But this line opened up at 3.5 before quickly moving to +4.5. Tells you that sharp money hit the Seahawks pretty early, cut to cover that number. You see a lot more sharp money coming in early. Public often bets closer to game time. I believe the majority of public betting comes on the day of. So, they're not the ones looking for those early lines. So the books kind of rely on that a little bit to help shore up the Super Bowl line, which is interesting that you would have thought the Pats, maybe not quite 4.5 underdogs, but, it's the first time since 2022 Bengals Rams that the spread even opened outside the key number. So the books even before the movement had the Pats as the biggest dog in a few years here. Only the 4th or 5th time the past 15 years that's happened where it's opened outside the field goal, which is kind of why my gut feel, I figured it might be like 2.5 or +3 on the dot. But also the lowest total in some time, almost 10 years now, 2016. Carolina, Denver, that went under, and that was a total of 43.5. So not, a ton to take away there, but we have seen much higher totals lately, and we're getting just 45.5 here. Underdogs have won the last 3 Super Bowls outright, covered in 5 straight. So certainly, trend leans towards the Patriots side, and all that stuff we just talked about. I'm not really surprised to see the model side where it is this early. Most spreads open inside this number. Totals are often higher than this. The model doesn't operate off of trends, but it's using historical data and whatnot to make its projection. So you're not going to see it do something radical, especially with the opening line. So this all makes sense here to me. I don't hate the model. alongside the Pats plus 4.5. Gut certainly says the Seahawks win this. Far more impressive in their 2 playoff games, I'd say. Top 10 defense in virtually every metric all year long. Pats defense is very good. Feels like they're kind of bailing out the offense throughout the playoffs, though. And total wise, the model's got a 53% probability, but there is no value here. So I'm comfortable to, offer some skepticism about which way I think it's going. But nothing I've seen from the Pats offense in the postseason has me very interested in an over. That's for sure.
Given your thoughts, which are also my thoughts, I think the Seahawks are the team I want to bet. They're the likely champion, of course, based on everything we've seen. However, I'm also shocked the line is more than a field goal. I thought most here would be 3.5. I'm just not surprised whatsoever that the model shows value on the Pats at the current number. If forced to pick one to bet, would you rather play Pats money line or would you rather play Pats at this number at 4.5?
If I had to pick one, I'd probably just take the Pats money line. It's the Super Bowl. Anything can happen. Like, underdogs have played really well lately. Won 3 in a row, covered in the last 5. Nothing would surprise me to see them win. They have continuously pulled out these surprises to get away with their seemingly less than average play sometimes. So yeah, if I had to pick one, I would take the dog outright on the edge. Sweet spot from the model. You're getting better odds, of course, given where the line is at.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at too. And look, I think both are high edge plays, right? You can see what the model says right in front of you. There's a 9% edge on the spread right now. There's a 4% edge on money line. And even though we're saying we'd probably just go money line just to get the 2-to-1 odds, I think either's a pretty good play. I'm most curious where this line is headed between now and kickoff. And I don't think we've seen a ton of movement yet here. And I don't think, even thinking back to previous years, it doesn't feel like there's been a Super Bowl where the line has moved dramatically in the 2 weeks without maybe serious injury news. So I'm not exactly expecting this to get to a key number one way or the other, but I do sort of have this gut feel. I think the entire world wants to be on Seahawks. Yeah. And I wouldn't be that surprised if it keeps getting bet up a little bit. So I don't know, kind of to your point, like, I think you and I are sitting here like, we expect the Seahawks to win. We would never bet it at this number, but I'm also probably not sprinting to the line to bet Pats just yet in case it, jumps up another point possibly by the public trying to play Seahawks. So I don't know, any thoughts on that? Like, is the time right now, is it time to wait basically?
Yeah, I completely agree. We were kind of wrong about the Pats last week. I was like, oh, wait, because it'll probably get better. And it didn't. I was like, what is happening here with this line? So it was good to get them when you did. But or if you waited on them, sorry. But no, yeah, I mean, if there's going to be more money coming in, it's probably not going to be sharp money on the Patriots suddenly in the opposite direction after 1 point, right?
If anything, I think that money would come in late too. And now we're getting into like trying to handicap the way the betting industry works, which is certainly not what we're trying to do. But I don't know. I just have this gut feel that like waiting, if you are looking to bet the Pats, I don't think you need to sprint to do it today. And if anything, if you're a Seahawks bettor, you might be hoping it goes the other way and waiting until it gets closer to a field goal when the sharp money comes in. So I don't know. It's a weird one. Like, this 4.5 number, something feels weird. I thought for sure this would be plus 3.5. And I don't know what to do with it today,
Yeah, no, completely. And it's, we kind of already talked about it, but it's weird to not have it right around the key number. When you get the Super Bowl, you're not getting a huge underdog because of the fact that the teams got to the Super Bowl. So it's going to be short, and it's just hovering in this weird limbo. The only thing worse would be if it was 5.5. I think it would be even just stranger, but
it'd be more confusing. Yeah. But I mean, look, both these teams, these are 2 14-3 football teams. Like, we can't sit here and act like we're shocked that New England is in the Super Bowl at this point. And yes, they haven't looked as good as Seattle, but I'm kind of shocked to see it outside the key range. We see every Super Bowl seem to open up at a field goal. So we'll see. The model agrees as of now. Like I said, we have 3 more episodes between now and the Super Bowl to watch where this goes and react to it in real time. In the meantime, can we do an early prop check?
Yeah, just take a quick look here. This is probably where you're going to see, lots of movement between now and then. I mean, you're going to see odds shift. You're going to see lines move. So, if you see a number you love now, and if the model likes it, it's probably a good idea to get it at its current line, over under props wise. But real quick at some touchdown value, there's a good bit on the Pats, at least last I looked. You got Drake May, Ramondre Stevenson for a pair, for 1, Trevion Henderson for a touchdown. I was looking at this earlier, and I can't help but affix my gaze on it now. Plus 550 for Trevion Henderson to score an anytime touchdown. He's 20.1%, so that's plus 400 for fair odds. He's been bad in the playoffs, averaging 2.4 yards per carry, 2 catches on, I think, 3 targets. He completely bottomed out in this past game with 3 carries and 0 targets. In a game, the Pats completed 10 passes for 80-something yards. So not really the game script you want to see the running back not involved in to then be looking to bet him the following week. You're buying him at his lowest point here, but plus 550 for a running back who had 4 multi-touchdown games this year is a little eye-raising to me. And, it takes one play. If they're down there in the red zone, it takes one play. You saw the Seahawks. I mean, they didn't struggle to contain the Rams backfield split last week, but Kyren Williams scored on a receiving play. And on that last drive, I was tilting watching Kyren Williams not carry it. Blake Warren racked up like 55 all-purpose yards on that final drive, it seemed like. So, that's just really good value. You're getting a guy in at least a theoretical backfield split at plus 550 for a touchdown. It's pretty nuts. Hard for me to ignore that.
Yeah. I think it's the right spot to circle in terms of just an early glance at everything I see here. Yeah, I'm with you. And I was also on tilt watching the final drive. It was like, this dude's involved in every single play. It was insane.
And then Kyren gets 1 carry for no gain. It was wild. The conspiracy theorists were certainly having a ball with that one. Nothing like that from me. It's just like I was laughing like my Joker moment. I was turning into the Joker, laughing hysterically, going crazy watching that. But Seahawks side, touchdown value wise, there's nothing from a value perspective. You got Kenneth Walker, 54% almost, but he's like minus 190, pretty heavy juice. He ended up coming down to about minus 130 before the NFC Championship last week, and he started around the same odds. I think he was like minus 175, so I wouldn't be rushing to put him in anything there. And, the backfield split didn't exactly move away from him getting closer to game time. Yeah, they activated Helani, but he did nothing, and it was the Kenneth Walker show regardless. One thing I do like, I should primarily save this for another show, but if you want to bet on Ken Walker, as far as finding the end zone, I would look at him at Super Bowl MVP. He's plus 700, and he's plus 285 for a pair of touchdowns. We have him at, let me check this real quick, what his probability is for 2. I meant to put that in the show or in my notes. 18.1%. So that should only be like plus 450 or so for 2+ touchdowns, but he's plus 285. You got to figure if Kenneth Walker scores 2 touchdowns, does anything remotely productive yards wise, Sam Darnold probably isn't also throwing 2 touchdowns unless one of those is to him. It's Kenneth Walker there. And I'm kicking myself for not taking him at plus 2,200 before the NFC Championship. He was sitting there. I was like, he's going to be the guy these next 2 games. So that's something I would be looking at least as far as betting on Kenneth Walker to find the end zone. I would not bet him outright to score a touchdown. I'd look at him for something like Super Bowl MVP.
I like that shout. You're going to get way better value, bigger odds, obviously, if you go that route. And he's a game-breaking type back that's never had this type of volume before. He got 19 of the 26 carries. 3 of those 26 were Sam Darnold's, and 1 was Rashid Shaheed. It's not like they were trying to break in both Cam Akers, who got some third down snaps, and then George Halani, who did finish with 3 carries, but did nothing with them. I would not be stunned whatsoever if you see Walker get the biggest workload of his career. I think especially if they're holding a lead and you're just trying to avoid turnovers, like just pound the rock in this game. I will not be surprised if he ends up with 25 carries. And the thing is, he is a big play back. Like, he didn't exactly have a great average against LA, but it's not a surprise at all to see him break away, run through tackles, juke moves left and right. And I just think a couple big ones there. He's probably the best value spot as far as MVP goes. I had one other name I wanted to ask you about, which is it sounds crazy to float him as an MVP candidate. However, he is such a unique archetype, and his role in the Seattle team has been so strange since he joined the team. A Rashid Shaheed Super Bowl MVP long shot has my attention. What if he runs a kickback? What if he has one big play in the air and it was 2 plays for 2 touchdowns, and all of a sudden he's the Super Bowl MVP of this game?
I don't hate it. If I'm taking one long shot in this game, it's him, because it's not going to be another Seattle receiver. Like, I mean, Cooper Kupp did once upon a time at the Rams. He's not going to have that kind of game on Super Bowl Sunday. I was surprised he found the end zone in that last one, but helped me catch a parlay though, so I'll take it. Yeah, no, I love that. Right, or if he even has some good returns and has a good scores a touchdown receiving or something, or a big rushing play. He's such a big play guy. The variance you get with him is incredible. His line is set so low, so he's a great betting target. If you can deal with possibly getting a goose egg, he's just so worth the high variance. And we've seen him make play after play since they got him. We talked about him being the most impactful signing we've seen, or midseason acquisition we've seen in some time. Yeah, wouldn't be surprised at all. JSN is probably going to be matched up with Christian Gonzalez. Pats haven't allowed they've allowed 170-yard rusher or receiver, since last 10 games, I think it is week 12 or something. And it was Zay Flowers with 84. They haven't allowed a single 90-yard receiver. We project JSN at 95, which is around his usual output, but he might struggle to get it going in this game. No knock on his talent. Obviously, he's maybe the best receiver out there, but yeah, I mean, come on, if you're going for a long shot, he's probably like 20-1, right?
Yeah, I honestly haven't even seen it yet. But it's gotta be something crazy like that. So yeah, just floating it. I mean, it's crazy. It is as crazy as it sounds. But the thing with Shaheed is you're always just one play away. And in a game like this, I mean, the guy who makes the biggest play, the loudest play, is often the guy that ends up holding up that hardware. I wouldn't hate it if we are looking for ways to try and get some player-specific value on the Seahawks side. I'm with you. Shaheed has sort of been my go-to guy in this offense for the last couple months. And it usually has led to something. Like, we got that first quarter ladder last game. So speaks to how his usage has been. But all right, there we go. That's our early prop look. We will come back to this game, of course, with a ton more coverage in the coming episodes. But for today, we are going to stop right there. If you want all this information in real time, again, just get Dimers Pro. Promo code podcast. You can get 50% off as you sign up for that.